Building, sure. Inside of
With
it,
inside, yeah.
but putting on shingles, I suppose.
So, yeah,
After the day.
yeah.
Straight windy.
One on the street.
Is there?
So there wasn't a nail on it, but I went over it twice.
Oh, really? Yeah.
You know how to react today, and a guy stopped at the house and say, no, your house looks really nice, He said, except for those old shingles you got on there.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, those are like a year and a half older, those metal ones. He
Oh,
said, oh, well, it must be the lighting and stuff, I guess.
so then he went on to the next house and tell him how they look.
He said, well, that's right, I'm here to sell your shingles. And, yeah, I'm not gonna need any for it. We have to get the next owner.
Well, we got it done before the meeting even started. The meeting was called to order at 7:00. Ashley, could you do roll call, please?
Yes. Director Lee,
Here.
Director Burke,
Here.
Director Clayton,
Here.
Director Reader,
Here,
Director Steinhoff.
Here.
Approval of the agenda. Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. All right. So he's not open forum, but. All right. Consent agenda. All right, we have 2 meetings that we did in December there for your review. The statement of revenues and expenditures. Actually been doing some talking with the company that helps us with this. And so there might be some tweaks, but otherwise we're at a pretty good spot. And as you can see with revenues, we're at 45%, very much normal as previous years. You can see the dollar figures in the last 5 years. Expenditures wise for the general fund, 38%. Last year we were at 36, but the year before we were at 39%. So pretty even of how much we've taken out of that fund, and doing very well in the general fund. Activity fund is also doing well. Management is the one we're watching. My guesstimate year to date ending balance by only having less than half the revenues in and 80% of the expenditures, about a positive 117,000 or so. Don't quote me on that, but we'd like to end up at the end of the year around 100,000 in positive there, but we'll see. Sales tax, you can see what's been paid so far for our project. The revenue is what comes in the other, and then it goes out under purchase services. And then we flip over to the next page. PEPL, very steady with that. 50%, 7% in, out, only at 29% of what we budgeted. Kind of looking at that very tight, but giving us a ending balance that we're going to talk about later of that 1.2. Go ahead and check out that number for when we come back. But I'll just say 1.2. Nutrition's looking good. A lot better than the past few years with revenues and expenditures. So positive there. And all the other ones is fancy numbers for us. And then when we look at the certified budget, looking at that, we're going to look at the general fund on the top left, going back to 21, where we ended with our unspent balance 33, maximum used at 24%. And as you see, the number is pretty steady, go up just 1% or 2%, projected to end at this year at 38 and 27. So that's pretty good. That's what we want to see at this time of year. Unspent authorized budget, the next column, that is looking good. Last year, we were at 34, projected to hopefully be somewhere around between 34 and 38. And our solvency, we've been steady, and this is another great one for the last 5 years, 44, 43 to 44 to 45, and we're looking to be at 45 after that. So very consistent with our solvency, that's cash on hand, and we like to see that. What we're going to look at a little more as we get into budgeting season is the next page. And I'm just going to draw your attention all the way down to the bottom right, where we have those red numbers on the variance. And what that is going to tell us if we're going to need to redo the budget in May. The answer is yes, because the bottom one is showing we weren't expecting the bond money to come out of other. So that's going to make that account negative. And this is just authority to spend, not dollars and cents. It's just convoluted formula for the state. What are you allowed to spend? And so we'll have to redo the budget for that. We'll just do them all. We'll watch it over the next couple months to see how it all shakes out. So with that, anything on the bills that highlighted your attention? Kind of the usual. So if no questions. Oh, and if you any questions on the activity fund report or any of those, let me know. But those were all pretty good. You know, a few of them are have the year where they're to do some concessions. I think the one negative one is esports, and that's from state. And I know they have some money that they're anticipating coming in. But otherwise, very positive in the activity.
I mean, I was gonna ask, the 18 trees, are we putting those in? There's just like a bill for 18 trees
Yes.
and moving the trees? Are they in, are they putting in? I just didn't know anything about it.
Are all of them in?
Yeah, the 18 evergreen trees are there all in.
Where do we go? I just,
I didn't hear you, Todd, what you,
where they at? I'm just unaware, I guess.
out back, along the football.
Okay,
In the 5 years I've been here, I don't know how many we've cut.
we've
down.
taken a number of them out, I know.
We've had a lot of them die. Last winter, we lost a lot. So it was time to put some back in the ground. So
Yeah,
Patterson had them ones out there that had to go. So we got a pretty good deal on 18 trees for what they were.
very good. I read that.
You can't go to Earl May and buy a tree for what we bought these trees for. So
true.
That's great.
It was always, as we've been taking them down, it was always the directive of the board to get new trees in. And there's the first wave.
Very good.
Hopefully we get a little more moisture this winter. I know some people don't want it, but help the trees out.
Wait, a couple of months.
Right?
Sorry for a motion. I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes.
Alright, new business. Shelley?
Right, so came back from, Christmas break in our winter fast testing. And with our new math curriculum, already diagnostic testing. So we began January 6th, hoping to have everyone tested by January 23rd, but there's been a lot of sickness going around the school. So if not, we'll make up next week. The official window closes February 5th. VR goggles, Mr. Lutt continues to bring those around the elementary side. I know the kids and the teachers are really enjoying that, tying it into their curriculum. 100th day of school, knock on wood, without any snow days or days missed due to cold temps or anything like that, will be Friday, January 30th. Yesterday, I was able to go with Kelsey Mason, our SPED director, to Cherokee, to the middle school. They applied for a grant for a therapeutic learning classroom. So it's something that we could eventually apply for, and I just kind of wanted to see how the setup was with that school, if it's something that we could implement and put here within our district. So that was kind of nice to go out and see. It's just another safe place for kids who, with like social emotional behaviors, that sort of thing. It's a place for them to go to. And they just kind of revamped how they did things within their middle school, and then they are also applying for a grant for their elementary. I think it would be something very beneficial for our district. Some more to continue with that. And then our playground committee, we met when we came back from Christmas break, just trying to brainstorm and see what we can come up with or are able to provide for both our preschool playground and for our elementary playground for K through 5. So.
With that, we have a meeting on Monday with
Monday.
the service representative to take a look at what we have and what we're looking to get.
You're gonna get rid of all that pea gravel then, is that the plan?
We would love to.
Yeah.
When we put in new equipment, I think it just is a necessity. You know, I don't know if there's a lot of pea gravel there. So I don't know if we move some out and still leave where some is. I guess we'll see where we go with the playground equipment. But I don't think feasibly we'd be able to do a surface over the whole area, you know. That'd be cost prohibitive.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, Matt?
Like Shelby said, coming back at second semester rolling on the secondary side. We have 4 students taking advantage of CNA licensure. We have 1 student enrolled in the Firefighter 1 program through Sergeant Bluff and Witt. We have over 40 high school students taking multiple WIT classes. PD wise, they're doing the Anxious Generation, just basically, book that kind of talks about the impact of cell phones and how students learn differently because they've been raised with a device in their hand. For 6th through 8th grade, we're using a program called Alex. We're test piloting it. It's a math intervention program. Continue to work on getting the math scores higher for us. New teachers are doing evidence-based practices with Sarah Schmid through the AEAs. She'll be here next week to do observations of those teachers, and then they have meetings as well. Did some professional development with the new Common Lit English Language Arts program that we adopted. 7th, 8th grade will do their fast testing next week. Full swing of all the sports, and hopefully for another 4 years, we don't have wrestling and basketball on the same night at school. It's a lot of chaos those nights, but good things to have. So, any questions?
Thank you. All right, Justin.
Christmas break, lights went in, high school commons, elementary commons. We did get the hood installed in the dish room. That's really made a difference. Working great. Had a leak over the elementary serve area. The day it decided to rain, it decided to flood the kitchen area, so we ended up getting that fixed. It's all back and going. Other than no heat issue out in the concession in football, they forgot to insulate it. We got it fixed, so that's good. We're maintaining heat now. So baseball, we can't flush any toilets, so we got a water issue. So we don't know. We actually dug the water line up yesterday, checked it, seems good. So the city was out today. We don't know. So we're back to the drawing board. So have it up and running by baseball season is all I can say. But other than that, that's all I have.
Thanks, Justin. You did your job.
All right. I put in, this is new, so you may not have seen it from earlier. Letter from Rex and Bev. They're free to read to the board. Just about, we did Christmas this year to have the retired teachers in instead of Thanksgiving. But just all in all, thanking us for that. Next is I had therapeutic classroom, just so I didn't forget. Really started talking with some other schools that did get the grant. Really have been impressed with the results, each of them. One of the things I think is key is they've gotten some good professional development from Four Oaks and some other mental health areas that come in and really help out our staff on what this is going to do and how it's going to help. This is my understanding of it. You may not get it in the first year, but it doesn't all go to bigger schools, and it doesn't, if you already have one, you're kind of on the back burner. So I don't know how many other districts are interested, but we've got a lot of the good stuff from Cherokee to be able to write a grant and see if it's something we want to do.
Sure. Explain that, what a therapeutic classroom is.
And just briefly, it would be a designated room that we would use grant funds to redesign. So there would be areas of the room for how a student is coping with the day. There would be a teacher and paras that would kind of change what they're doing and how they're doing it with this model to help students. It may be 12 students in the room, it may be 4 students in the room. And the whole goal is giving those students a place to go so they can get to where they need to be to get back into the classroom as soon as possible.
Does that take a separate, a different teacher then? We've got to have another teacher? to do this then?
Yes, it's
You'll bring on another teacher, take one of the ones we have.
not sure how that exactly looks. And you know, that was part of the reason, wanted her to check it out in person to see how it goes.
And like these students don't necessarily have to be on an IEP, but they do have to have a BIP or an FBA, so it's like for behavior students. So students who maybe may have outbursts in the classroom or need to work on their social emotional skills on how to cope with certain things. And so, yeah, I mean, they have certain signals, and the beauty of it, like Jay said, is they did a whole semester of 4 Oaks coming in and giving their whole staff PD on this is how, you know, the proper training. So you have that whole buy-in of, okay, so we're all in this together. And a student will come into the classroom, and there's different sections of the room designed for, you know, the student in a 10-minute timer set, and they get to just go and have their space. But they go through, you know, a lot of these students, like what we're running into now is just with paras. It's hard to find paras. You know, it's hard to find staff. And so, like at Cherokee, how they were set up is there is no para just one-on-one with a behavior student anymore. It's just you have behavior monitors who collect data every 5 minutes, but then they're switching every 20 minutes between students. So they're not just with one behavior student all day, which would be very nice and not so stressful on a para. But yeah, so they kind of are trying to help regulate these students to figure out what do I need to do, what are the proper skills that I need to help keep myself regulated. And then the goal for them to receive the grant for elementary is then by the time they get to high school, they have the skills needed to make sure they know, okay, this is how I need to regulate myself. But it was very interesting. But yeah, you can have a max up to 14 students on a roster, stay for at least a semester. And then if, you know, you look at the data, if the student has shown, you know, the correct data needed to get out of the program, they can, but some students have to stay on for the whole 2-3 years. It's tailored to each student's needs. So some students may be going into the room twice a week for 20 minutes, or maybe it's 5 times a week, you know, for 10 minutes, just depending on each student. But I know she said it's been very successful at Cherokee, so.
There's, for those students that are in the room, there's additional funding through the state formula. So it helps pay for the room on top of what the state gives you. And we are just a couple weeks into scratching the surface on
Okay.
it. So
Yeah.
we hope to bring more to you each month.
Okay.
And, Sunday night was the Education Foundation meeting. They agreed to get 8 more VR goggles for us. That way we'll have 16 going at a time. That means a world of difference. We learned in the first semester a world of difference because I can either do the presentation or the teacher does the presentation once or twice. Some classrooms that I go into, like 6th grade, I've got to do it 4 times and then have the kids doing something else. So that's going to help out immensely. Really excited about that. And then they said go about getting a vending machine for books. This is going to be something in the elementary that they're going to go through using what we used to call AR parties and stuff like that. So there's going to be more on that coming before we finalize exactly all that's going to look like. So we'll have more for you, or Shelby will have more for you on that. And they're going to be doing a half-court shot at a few of the games as a fundraiser that they've done in the past. You can set your calendar for April 11th. They're going to do a 90s themed party. And April 18th, they have the yearly daddy-daughter dance. So that's coming up.
I see certain look, they have got a bunch of those, VR goggles. I see that on the news, that they were showing, I don't know how many they got, they got quite a few through a grant.
Oh.
Comments.
I missed that news. District information, number one is actually the paper copy you have. I thought, again, this is a good sheet of paper for new board members and existing board members. Maybe you just put this in your pickup. So when someone corners you to ask you a question about school, or, you know, they say, school's broke, what are you gonna do about it? Well, here, I got this sheet of paper, we're not broke. You can pull it out. You have questions about it, I'm more than happy to go through it with you at any time. But it's, again, one of those small number things, so you'll have to get out in classes for it. And then the next one is a 6-page district financial trends report. If you want this printed off, I am more than happy to print it off for you. But goes through a lot of the same stuff we've been talking about. Make it easy for you to understand comparison to what goes around the state, whether it's property taxes, income surtaxes, unspent balance. You can get a feel of where we are. Once again, if you want to go over it with me, more than happy anytime to do that with you. And lastly, this is something that's been going around, is changes could be coming in our save dollars pending legislation. A lot of rumors, no one really knows. But I'm going to vow here now to help get you the information again, to be able to add some templates that you can email our legislators and say, this is our district's position. This is what we need those funds for. Don't take them away, or whatever it may be. But again, nothing's gone through. It just got started. But some people are a little hypersensitive about that. So I will be working on that for you as well. And starting the action items, I do not have the board policies ready for you. We did get changes to the board policies from IASB, but I haven't got to work on that, so we'll just do that in February. There's nothing super big in it.
Any resignations then?
We got two, I put in two motions for you. I was trying to make it one and it was just convoluted. So the first one, Kendra Nielsen left the district last week, 1/14. So I've got hers, that motion there for you. And then Connie Smits is retiring at the end of the year. Full career with one district, that's something he said, so I do have one written up for you there, because I think that helps express how we're feeling about that. Any changes you see in that writing? You guys do motions or ask questions, yeah.
Do one at a time.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the immediate resignation of Kendra Nielsen.
I second the motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Make a motion to approve the resignation at the end of the school year for Connie Smits with gratitude for her years of service to the district.
I'll second that one.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right, to hiring.
We just have one for you, Darcy Evie for assistant softball.
I make a motion that, approve the contract for assistant softball coach to Darcy Eby.
Yeah, I'll second it.
A motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. All right, looks like, show.
And archery.
And
Yeah.
archery.
Archery wants to have a raffle for a Genesis bow. Dates are there. There wasn't much more to their sheet of paper that they filled out than that, so I didn't attach it. Show choir would like to do a Sunday brunch to help pay for their trip in February. And that is attached, because there's a little more writing on it if you need it. I received archery kind of late, but I received the show choir while I was driving the bus this afternoon. I didn't see it until after, so. But I saw it in time to get it on.
I'll make a motion to approve fundraisers for archery and show choir.
I'll second
A motion and a second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. All right, Norman.
Just back up for 1 second, we're still okay with the raffle, don't we still have our gambling
Yeah.
license? I thought we were okay, but I did want to get clarified before I got myself in troubles.
Show choir.
Okay, trip, the bottom link is the newest information, what he got me this weekend that I attached for you. A little better itinerary of the trip that they have planned. Found out, just kind of through word of mouth that they had this going, so last week, so I asked him to give me the information. His board has to approve out-of-state, multi-day stays. So this is what we have. Probably had a chance to look at it, look through it here.
I have some concerns about that trip.
Yeah,
I would too.
yeah.
I just don't think that's, I don't know, in my opinion, that,
Unrest there.
well, he needs to be
It's a month
here.
away, but
Yeah,
But he needs to be here because everybody else has to come here and present their whole schedule before we okay a trip for the kids. And if he can't represent that, I don't think that's organizational either.
I'm also concerned about the protest.
I was concerned about what's going on rather than him coming in here, but yeah.
Yeah, even though it's a month away, it doesn't seem like it's even slowing down, it's just getting worse, so
I think his maiden voyage of taking 50 kids out needs to be a little closer to home. But you got it. That's part of the responsibility to me. I don't think that's been shown. It's the parents gotta approve. They gotta sign off on
And it looks like what, February 18th. I mean, I think we better decide then than now. Because we know the full picture of what's going on.
Are we putting them in a bind if we don't decide till the 18th and want to leave on the 21st?
They can get out of hotel rooms and stuff like that.
it. Yeah, I don't think that's concrete. I don't think that's,
And they can still do the fundraiser,
yes, they want to do that, all for that. I think that needs to be considered. It's like, right now, it's like 27% danger. And that, Google that up, see what that safety is right there for kids. I just make a motion you table it. That's what we gotta do. But I'm just.
There's no.
That or
no
just
motion
visiting,
second.
whatever you gotta do. Just-
To die for a lack of action. In the meantime, we need to have probably Mr. Dries, myself, meet with him, go over and see what we can come up. Is there something in another direction that might work? I know they're concerned about the cost, maybe the amount of days or something like that. I don't know any of this area, but maybe we can help them get that figured out.
Yeah, I see it was an 8,000, well, it's only looked like $325. I don't know how that come about. That's gotta be taken care of too. It's $8,000, $6,000 for the bus. And if you look at the budget we just looked at, of what's in there, we just, on the agenda, consent agenda, it doesn't, so, little difference there.
Yeah, yep. And then there's still a lot more expenses coming out for the upcoming show flyer. Today or yesterday, something like that, so.
Well, I'm all for show choir, that's my number one thing, but I think it needs to be looked at.
All right. Go move on in that direction. So just dice for a blank motion.
Positive pay access.
Right, this is where Ashley shines and explains to you what's going on.
So, Sloan State Bank has a program that, it's called Positive Pay, so we send them a file every time we run checks. When the checks come in to clear, it matches up with the file that we sent, just to verify that everything's accurate, and if there's anything that's off, then it shoots us an email, and then we go in and we have to click OK or, deny. We had an issue a couple months ago where somebody altered our check. They intercepted a check that we had sent. It was like a $2,000 check we had sent to a company, and somebody got it in between. Redid our whole check,
Yeah.
had our signatures, but did, instead of $22.35, they upped it to $92.35. And so the bank, didn't catch that, so something like this will catch it. So they want us to have board approval, because right now I have online bank access, but Melissa does not. She does the activity fund, so this would allow her to be able to get the emails and log in and okay the checks if there's any questions, I guess. So it's just an extra security.
Yeah, I've heard of
Step.
doing that, just taking the
Yeah,
check and modifying the whole,
They can do it, I've seen it.
yeah, I bet.
You get the money back.
You wouldn't know they ever.
we got the money back from the bank.
From the- I didn't know. Credit
They're
cards.
fighting, and I don't know exactly, I know they were having issues, but we got
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen
that
that.
$7,000 back.
Yep.
Yeah, so anyways,
They have to go back to the bank, whatever they.
Yeah.
The bank won't back that up either, will they? No, they didn't.
Well, they did.
Wherever they
Sounds
took
like
the check
they do.
to.
I mean, the bank won't, if somebody else gets the money, the bank won't give you back your money.
We
Or did they?
in this case, they did,
Okay, well, that's good. The other guy didn't, wasn't so lucky.
but they're fighting it with the company that,
Okay,
or with the bank that
Sure.
allowed
Right.
sure. Oh,
the
absolutely.
Bank in California, wherever it
Okay,
was,
okay.
but in the meantime, we got our,
Okay, good.
so they are treating us good, it's just, yeah, just another security step. Just to
Okay.
verify to make sure.
Nothing, another password don't pay.
But-
Another password don't pay.
We're in trouble.
They did that, you want hair dance.
Good, all right. I'm good.
Make a motion to approve positive pay access with Ashley and Melissa using service.
I second that.
All right, we got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. All right, let's go to consideration of leasing or purchasing 2 school buses.
I clicked on it and my link is. Okay,
So, well,
yeah, it came up, all right.
so,
So if you would, I was gonna start this, go ahead.
no, we're gonna discuss whether we're leasing or purchasing tonight then?
Yeah, right now.
All right.
Right now. So if you, where it says Bluebird, purchase versus lease, I made this up. I did one for
Yeah.
both the bids that we got in, and we'll go over both of them, but the format's the same. I thought this was the easiest for my brain. I tried it many different ways of coming across, but so in a 6-year plan, if we were to purchase 2 Bluebird buses this year, it would be $334,000. In next year, if we would replace bus 21, and I am not sure if we're right on that number, I did a guesstimate. 200,000 for that bus, because we would have an undercarriage, it would be the activity bus replacement. Then in 29 and 30, if we didn't purchase a bus, and then in 31, that would be a replacement for our handicap bus, and then we would retire. There's retirements on this too, on another sheet, but we would retire our old handicap bus, and we would still have 2, but that's what that would be. And then in 32, God only knows what these buses are gonna cost when we get to that time. But I just put 175, so you would have a number of a 77 passenger bus. So over the 6 years, we would spend $884,000 on those buses, and we would own them outright. So 3-year lease, I have the lease price of $73,640 for the 2 buses, 3 years in there. Add on year 2, the $200,000 into it. And then the purchase price of $150,000 in year number 4. So on the years that we're not buying a bus, we're paying for the lease, a lease option. And then the same 2 buses in year 5 and 6. With that, that's $920,920. That was just quite by accident. So over the purchase price, that's $36,920. Did the same thing for 5-year on a 5-year lease. The lease price is different. Still in year 2, I have a $200,000 bus, and then in year 5, adding on, or year 6, adding on that dollar for the end of the lease period, coming up with $924,000 over that 6-year time, a $40,000 difference. And then you probably have to click back with that and click the Hoagland one and tell me, oh, there it goes. All right, very simply, the same deal. Purchase price is a little more in that aspect, but all things considered, if we follow that plan, it's at $928,000. We did a 3-year lease with them, that's $38,000 more than the purchase. A 5-year lease, that's $56,000 more than the purchase. So, comes out to what we all know, purchasing is the cheapest way to go. Leasing is the best option if you're low on cash in those funds to do a bunch of buses at a time. So with that being said, I'm going to draw you back to when we talked about our Pebble account sitting right now at 1.2. So the first thought about the going with the leasing was you're doing two at once. That'll eat the cost down a little bit, make it more manageable. Still keep a good balance in Pebble to fix those needs that you have that you need to do. Then when I put this in to another one that I didn't include here to confuse myself or you even more, with that 1.2 and estimating what we would get in coming years, I would be comfortable in buying those buses outright and not doing the lease in that. With that being said, kind of that thing I said before, the purchase price of a bus for school bus sales is $167. Through Hoagland, it's $189. So purchase price, school bus sales wins out. And then the leasing, it gets a little more complicated but I have those numbers for you too to show you how that would win out. The balloon payment is less in school bus sales. So hearing that, and I hope it made some kind of sense to you, what questions do you have for me? And Wade's here too, because he lives this. And he's a straight shooter, he won't give you the runaround. Ask us questions.
The buses that retire, is there any value to those at all? I mean, are they just, they're junk, it's time to? No. And usually the buses we're gonna retire are older, so worth very little. Depending on the age, we've gone as far as just taking them to the junkyard and getting scrap metal price on them. Better than some bids that come on from. With that being said, when I talk about 21, that's a bus that will have value and we'll be able to get money out of that bus. So yes and no, some will have very little. It's not gonna put a big dent in the overall purchase.
No.
I kind of figured that, but I didn't ask.
So the purchase seems cheaper and we have the funds to do it, but would leasing, no, and just cost more?
It would just cost more. You've got the aspect of the warranty that we've gone over.
Yeah, what is the warranty on purchasing?
Oh, purchasing, go ahead.
Yeah,
Warranty on purchasing and or leasing, it's the same. 5 years on the engine, 5 years transmission, and 12 on basically everything else. The electrical components and stuff like that. Paint also warranty for 5 years. But that warranty is, the warranty just comes with the bus, so it doesn't matter if lease or purchase.
okay.
What do we like to get out of a bus? And what's our, we like to get 5 years or 10 years, or what's the deal? What do we, what's our trade in?
You loved, I mean, 7 or 8 would be very good. There are school districts that go much longer than that. But it's to the event of diminished rewards, how much and how long are you gonna have them worked on and in the shop? They gotta pass inspection twice a year. When they get up to 10 or past, then you have floor problems, and then they don't pass the inspections. The engine will, most likely, if you have a good bus, will run a lot longer than the body of it.
The only difference between the leasing and the buying would be how long that you want to keep that bus.
Yeah.
That's how long we want to keep the bus. We're gonna keep it for, 10 years or 5 years, or just like anything else you would lease, what's your end thing that you want? You want to buy it or lease it.
Yeah.
Because you'd like to trade every year, then you'd lease it because you get a new bus, but you want to own it for a while, and purchase it just like a piece of equipment. So your recommendation is just to buy them, and then your 5-year forecast for being able to is good for the rest of it? Pebble and
Where does that money come from?
I will be using Pebble for that.
I'm not aware of
That's-
that.
Okay, so that is our tax assessment that we put on for Pebble, and we have voted Pebble. So that brings our dollar up to $1.29, I think this year that we have on that. So we levy that, get those funds in each year.
that
Through tax payments.
that Pebble is just, it is initials for, what's that mean?
Physical plant and equipment.
There it is, right there, so that,
Say what again?
Physical plant and equipment.
that's what that Pebble means, it's letters for.
There are only certain things you can use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much a year does we want, I mean, do we normally pick, I mean, or is it you just don't
It
know?
depends. We use our save the same way. So we have that 1% tax that's coming in from the state. So those are two separate piles.
Right.
We did a referendum, we could use them the same way under the confines of the law. So we're using those funds and then we're using Pebble funds. And we tend to use more of the same on a yearly basis and have more of a balance in Pebble. Because not normally do we have as many projects this last Christmas break as we had this year that Justin had going on, much needed. So some years you're gonna use more than others, but you want a balance for when something really goes good.
Something
You
does
can
that.
handle it.
The 1 cent fund, does that come out of the save then, or is that Pebble? 1 cent, is that a
Save.
Save, and that's also initials, is that the save, that also has initials, being the save, that, what are that? What is that?
They changed it so many times,
Okay.
I honestly don't remember.
That's just another, that's
Save.
That's another silo, that's another separate silo of money that.
Yeah.
Can't use it for a lot of things, but you can use it.
Well, obviously, the smarter ways to buy them, and you know that, you know what our situation's looking like. I don't, why would you, you're gonna keep them 6, 8, 9 years or 7? Pretty easy. Yeah. Much no problem.
Or is this gas or diesel or what's,
I voted yes.
okay.
So
I know that makes it, I know it makes a difference to me, but I know that, yeah, on the list of the buses, you got some are gas and some are diesel and.
And these will be replacing buses that are on routes now that stay outside at people's houses, so they're not inside.
And this, and that Bluebird, the brand, that's what that's what we're gonna do then? That's already been
Yes.
decided?
Yeah, that, and that's, who we purchased from the last couple of years
Okay.
now. Exclusively.
Okay. So,
So everyone's on board with the purchase versus the lease.
School bus sales from schools.
I think so.
I think that's where we go to.
I'll make a motion to purchase 2 buses from School Bus Sales, Bluebird. The amount of, that's per bus, isn't it? I probably don't.
do you vote for the amount or do you vote for just the versus the
Just
two?
the 2 buses.
The 2 buses, or just whether you're
Yeah,
gonna,
two
whether you're gonna lease
buses.
or purchase?
Yes, we went by the bid.
For the purchase of the
You know where my
2 buses.
Oh, okay.
It was. $334,000. Buses.
All right, we have a motion, second.
I second the motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
All right.
All opposed? Motion passes. All right, now consideration of purchasing a used 12-person van.
All right. Just to review this a little bit with you, the state allowed some years ago that we could purchase 12-passenger vans if they were used. So we started doing that. We currently have 3 Fords and 1 Chevy. It would help us out for activities because the Chevy does not, we can only get pretty much 8 kids in that instead of what we can get in the Fords. It's usually the last bus or van that's taken because they don't like driving it. It does have room in the back, but so do all these Ford ones. So I was looking for another Ford, so we would have 4 with this upcoming track and golf season.
We have 2 Fords now in the Chevy. So we
Oh,
have, this would make our third.
Third, okay, 4, sorry. Sorry, had it confused in my head. So we would have the third one be this one. I price around, I got you a lot of prices there, and from what I could find, nothing came close to what we were able to do from CNC. I told you about him a little more. We tell him what we want, he goes to an auction, he tests it out, he details it, and he'll put it together for us and deliver, which is amazing. So with that, I recommend going with CNC with their bid, and the actual dollar amount's going to be less than that because we changed the design of if we were going to use the design and have it wrapped, pretty much went from a half wrap, which what he quoted, to more of a quarter, maybe a third wrap. But this is the design that looked a lot better to me, and then I asked everybody, took around a sheet. And so it's something we could have the other ones done in too. We're required by law to have the district's name at a certain amount of square inches on the sides of the bus or van as well. But schools are doing a lot of this, you see nowadays, of something a little brighter that gets the attention of passerbyers.
So we're gonna get rid of something then, or just new?
Then,
Okay.
I screwed up in my talking earlier, I'm sorry about that. Then I would like to look at getting that Chevy out and getting another Ford, so we have those. And as well, we've talked about the possibility in the future using for one of them for a long distance route that has not many kids on it, where we don't have to have a CDL driver, which is the big hang-up. Why we don't have
Probably when it
drivers.
comes to that, might come a lot more of that.
Yeah,
So this money that comes also out of the February the state.
it'd come out of the exact same spot, yeah.
What, I guess, so we're gonna add the number of vans by what we're doing, or just you're gonna keep the same amount of number when you get rid of the one? You're gonna add this to the fleet? You're gonna add this one to the fleet?
This one is an ad, yes.
adding one and then he's looking.
Eventually.
We're not doing the shift.
Okay, okay, so you still have the same amount at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Of vans.
Will be.
With this
Well,
one.
not this one, we're adding one.
Okay, with this one adds one,
With the shift.
but with the other one, we.
You doing
Basically
checking
trade.
with ASICs, to that design on the side of the lot with an ASIC shoe, maybe we can get some,
Royalty.
you know, royalty money, a little advertising for them.
You wanna make that phone call?
Sure, they were gonna put a wrap on our van, we think that,
You need work with the
Where's CNC
That's worth
from?
about 10,000.
Have you worked with the CNC?
This is my first time working with them. I met him at the school board convention, and that's where I got talking to him. And he's really getting big in Iowa. Several schools have been using them.
Where are they out of?
Kansas.
Kansas? Yeah, I didn't know. I've never heard of it. so-
Yeah, he goes to those big auto shows or auctions down there. That's how he does it.
has anybody been able to go and drive it, or,
No,
you know, we got the pictures and
So
things.
he's already, he bought this one off the auction, right?
he's bought it, it's sitting there and waiting for us to go. He's tested it out, he's driven it. He's made sure it meets all of his mechanical.
Kind of a warranty on something like that. Taillight warranty.
And this.
No, not a warranty.
Is the Chevy, which one is that?
Gherkins van, the one
Gherkins
that was
van.
called Gherkins.
Yeah.
Cause there is that one, is that the one that just, like.
The one nobody wants to drive.
Okay, I was gonna say, there's one that it just does not drive real well.
What's wrong with it?
It just, nobody wants to
Yeah,
drive.
so I'm asking, what's wrong with it?
No,
I can't say that.
It's no more useful than.
It's smaller.
What is it?
it's that Chevy 10-passenger van.
Oh, okay.
Gherkin always took it, and that was the one he always took.
How old is it?
Just curious.
I haven't, it just doesn't, I don't think it can.
But the 12-passenger
I'm
vans
just curious.
make more sense for golf in that kind
It's
Get
small.
the whole
And this
team,
is,
so.
this would be bigger. Yeah.
And if you can take two 12-passenger vans with coaches driving.
You did say we have to buy used, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Gotta buy used.
Gotta buy you what you said?
Yeah.
State.
That's what you said.
That's because there's a bunch of legislatures that are used car drivers here.
Yeah.
No, dude, no. We're gonna get to you, dude.
What, do you know what auction it come out of or where at?
It's down there.
I would guess it, yeah.
Need a motion?
I'll make a motion to purchase the van from CNC Auto Works and have it wrapped as designed on the sheet here. And I'll make a call to A6.
I'll second that motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 8:01 PM.
I won't.
Oh, that's sorry. Yes, John.
I got 802 now.
I'm second.
I'd like to amend the motion.
The Chevy, we've been talking, Chevy, we've been talking about is in 2017.
It's a 2017.
Don't mind.
I don't even figure it out. Maybe we can make a party my son. Start a new business.
I think we need a second.
Yeah, who's gonna second the adjournment?
Somebody second